Hello everyone and welcome back to another Marvel Champions video. Today I received the new expansion for Marvel Champions. So this is the Hood scenario pack. It's finally out. I think Fantasy Flight now is, I think for the most part, caught up. There were some delays with Mad Titan Shadow and War Machine, but now we're getting the Hood expansion. Should be out for most people. I got this today. This is supposed to be a fairly interesting expansion from what I remember reading, or scenario I should say. It uses, you basically mix in a bunch of other modular encounter sets, and that creates a really unique environment for playing, because like basically every game you can switch up the encounter sets and have it be completely different. So it includes, it's a 78 card scenario pack, which includes a battle to save New York City in this new scenario featuring the Hood, 9 new modular sets that represent the Hood's growing criminal empire, and exciting alternate versions of standard and expert encounter sets. So I think these standard and expert encounter sets replace the ones that are already with the core set. So I think these ones are supposed to be more challenging. But we're going to go ahead and get this open, and then I'm going to probably play a game with it. I'm going to turn the camera off, play a game, and come back like I normally do, let you know what I thought of it or how I did. And this does look like it could be a fairly challenging expansion. So I'm not super familiar with the Hood as a character, but let's see what we have here. So there's the expansion symbol. We got the Hood there. So scenario expansion. Let me see. So let me see. Modular sets. In addition to one scenario, the Hood scenario pack contains 9 modular sets. To add variety and unpredictability to any game of Marvel Champions, a number of modular encounter sets can be added and or removed from a scenario. Alright, cool. So alternate sets. In the Hood scenario pack, there are 2 alternate encounter sets, Standard 2 and Expert 2. Each encounter set is more powerful than its preceding version, offering players the option of a greater challenge. When a scenario requires the Standard encounter set, the Standard 2 encounter set may be used instead. When a scenario requires the Expert encounter set, most notably during Expert or Heroic modes, the Expert 2 can be used instead. So basically, they replace Standard and Expert sets. Keywords: Hinder, Insight, Permanent, Setup, Steady, which I think is new. Let's see. Character with Steady keyword can have 1 additional stun status card and 1 additional confused status card. That character is not stunned unless they have 2 stun status cards, and is not confused unless they have 2 confusion cards. After that character's activation is replaced by a status card effect. Remove all status cards of that type. So basically, to stun or confuse characters with Steady, you need to double stun them or double confuse them. Villainous, activate your Villainous, as we've had Villainous before. Modular set difficulty. During setup, the scenario players are given the option to either select 7 modular sets at random to be used during the game, or to specifically choose 7 modular sets that they wish to play against from this product or other Marvel Champions products. Who choose and prefer to use modular encounter sets from this product. Each modular set in the Hood has been ranked below in order from least difficult to most difficult, 1 being easy, 9 being hard. So it starts off with Streets of Mayhem, goes to Brothers Grimm, Ransacked Armory, State of Emergency, Beastie Boys, yeah, Beasty, not like the band, Mr. Hyde, Sinister Syndicate, Crossfire's Crew, and Wrecking Crew. So Streets of Mayhem being the easiest, Wrecking Crew modular set being the hardest. For a game of lower difficulty, it suggested that players use modular sets from 1 to 7. So basically, from Streets of Mayhem to Sinister Syndicate. And if you want it to be higher difficulty, go from 3 to, you use sets 3 to 9. And there's the list, if it wants to, I don't know if that's going to actually focus. There we go. So there is the list of encounter sets, 1 being the easiest, 9 being the most difficult. If you're doing a less challenging game, you want to go from 1, use basically 1 to 7, or 3 to 9 for harder play. And here's some strategy tips for each of those. I'm not going to read the strategy tips because I don't want to be kind of spoiled. So there's that. And then we have our 2 card packs here. So there is the Hood. So the Hood, let's see, level 1 scheme, 1 attack. Comes in with 14 hit points per player. And foul play special, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card does not belong to the Hood encounter set, deal it to yourself as a face-down encounter card. So basically, foul play. I don't know when foul play triggers, but I'm sure it'll tell you in the setup. But basically, you discard the top card of the encounter deck, and if it does not belong to his own set of cards, it gets dealt out as an encounter. So basically, the more modular sets you add in, the more modular sets. I think a lot of them get set aside and they get added in as things happen. So basically, it's going to start off where you're pretty much going to only have cards from his set, maybe a couple of encounter sets. Later in the game, you're going to be adding more encounter sets to the deck. From what I remember reading about it, when it was announced a while ago, you're adding encounter sets as the game progresses. So you have them outside the game, they get shuffled in, and then basically whenever a card that isn't in his deck gets dealt out or gets discarded off the top with this ability, it comes out as an encounter card. So Ransacked Armory. So here's some of the, what are they called? The modular sets. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is going to print this off. I'm going to get these ready to play. And I'm going to probably use my Captain America deck. It's my best deck. And see how it goes. However, if somehow he does get steady, I will need to double stun with Captain America. So it can still be fairly challenging because steady meaning you have to have 2 stun cards on a character to actually stun them, or 2 confusion cards to actually confuse them. And then once they have 2, the activation doesn't happen, and both status cards get discarded. So this could be a pretty interesting set. Again, I'm not really familiar with the Hood as a character, but it seems like it's going to be an interesting scenario. So I'm going to go ahead, play a game, going to come back, let you know what I thought of it. We'll be right back with that. Alright, and we are back after playing our first game against the Hood. I used the standard encounter set, or standard set, so I didn't use the upgraded one or the expert set. And I used the 7 modules that they recommend to have an easier game. So level module 1 through module 7. I ended up winning, but just barely. So I played my Captain America deck. It's a stun deck. Played that, and I think the final scheme on it, I actually ended up getting through. The Hood has 3 main schemes. So there's like 1, 2, and 3, and I was basically 2 points away from losing on the third scheme. The third main scheme, I should say. And Captain America had like 2 health on him at the end. So basically, beginning of the game, you choose one of those set-aside encounter cards, the modular sets. You shuffle it into the Hood's deck, along with the standard deck. And then beginning the game, you resolve his special ability, which is you discard the top card of the deck, and if it isn't part of his deck, it gets dealt as a face-down encounter card to the first player, or whoever the active player is. In my case, I was playing solo, so they're always going to me. I think by the end of the game, I had 3 or 4 modular sets shuffled in. I had the Baron Zemo set shuffled in as well, because I got Shadows of the Past in one of my activations. But my first play of the game was I got out, using Captain America's ability on Steve Rogers, is reduces the first cost of your ally by 1. So I was able to get out Luke Cage, who usually costs 4. Got him out for 3 resources. He comes in with a toughness status, and then basically has like 5 health. So he was around for a while, and I probably wouldn't have won if he wasn't out being able to, deal damage and defend against attacks. One card that I got to play that really was why those schemes kept getting completed is this card here. This is the from Streets of Mayhem. This is Secret Lair. It's an environment card. Don't know if that'll focus. Let's put it there. Let's see what happens. Let's see here. So yeah, Secret Lair. There is Surge. When revealed, discard each other setting environment in play, and then each enemy in play gains 1 acceleration icon. Each hero and ally gains +1 thwart. So I only had myself and Luke Cage. That's the only ally I actually got out the entire game was Luke Cage. So he would have had an additional thwart, and Captain America would have had an additional thwart as well. But there was that games times where I had the Hood was out, and I think the Hood counts toward this because it says each enemy gains acceleration 1. So I imagine that counts him as well. So each enemy gains 1 acceleration icon. So with 3 enemies out total, let's say 2 minions and the Hood, and then the +1 acceleration that you just get for going to the villain phase, threat was getting added on quite a bit. I was able to throw away some of it with Captain America's ability to basically, like, I thwarted one turn, readied him in attack as well. But getting that out, this environment out, this was out for quite a while, and it made it so those first two schemes kind of like completed almost automatically. When it got down to the third scheme, finally another environment came out that got rid of this. The other environment was that you basically just resolve the Hood's. I think you shuffle another deck in and resolve his ability. When he gets to level 2, you discard 2 cards. The first card that you get dealt or discarded, it becomes a face-down encounter. I think the other one just gets discarded. But I was able to actually get the Hood stunned quite a few times. The final environment card, I forget what it was called, but it gave each character in play steady. So basically, I would take if I was going to get stunned, I needed 2 stun tokens. If I wanted to stun the Hood, he needed 2 stun cards as well. So that's a little bit better than this, because this was just burning through threat really quickly. Finishing off those schemes, getting right to the next scheme. Like I said, I was 2 points away from losing on the final scheme, which was like it's like a 10-point scheme. So 10 point per player. So if you're doing it with 2 players, it's 20, 30, and so on. But was able to get out a few good defenses as well with Never Back Down. I put that in my deck recently. And that's you defend, I think you get +2 for your defense. And then if you take no damage from the attack, it stuns the enemy. So I was able to, in one turn, I used Heroic Strike on the Hood, did 6 and stunned him. And then I think the first encounter card that actually got dealt with his ability was the enemy attacks you. So basically, he attacked me, did an attack, got rid of the stun status effect. The encounter card goes off. He attacked me. I used the Never Back Down to bring Captain America's defense up to 4. Has 2 to start, so it became a 4 defense. It was like 3 attack. So I was able to. I took no damage, stun the Hood again. So that some of those plays, I think I got lucky in some of the cards I got. I think I would have lost otherwise. Lost either damage because I had 2 health left, or lost to threat because I would have. And I did get really lucky because I think like when I was doing his final ability with that last environment play, the first card was something that attaches to you, and when the Hood activates against you, you resolve his ability. But the second card that got discarded, which ended up just getting discarded, was Advance, which is just the one of Red Skull in the enemy schemes. If that would have been the first one, I would have easily lost the scheme. But I think I had 3, maybe 4 different encounter sets shuffled in there. I guess 5 if you count the counter set for Baron Zemo, because I said he had come out into play at one point as well. And I tried to get rid of him really quickly because you can't thwart when he's around. And then once I defeated him, I was able to get rid of his scheme, thwart that away. And then, but some of the other schemes, like I said, triggered off of the Secret Lair environment. Because the way this actually came out was kind of interesting. So I did the encounter card, and it was a different environment. Came into play, did what it said, and then these environments always surge. So what happens is, at least this one surged. So the first one surged into this. I did the effect, and then it surged again into some other just random card. But all of these locations, you generally can only have one at a time because it says when it comes in, discard each other environment, and then this effect is pretty nasty. It's every enemy getting an acceleration. So I was able to win, but just barely. I think if I shuffled in any of the more difficult modular sets, I would have easily lost. I would have easily lost if the villain schemed one more time. But my final play, I was able to get a tackle off to do 3 and stun. I think he was at like do 3 and stun. I was able to then I think the Hood was at 5, so I did 3, and then I was able to just do a basic Captain America attack for 2. And a lot of the minions I had to deal with today, I think I had Madame Mascout. Basically, when she enters, I think she triggers the Hood's ability. When she dies, she triggers the Hood's ability. Or she gets defeated, triggers it. And then I had a couple of the Hydra guards out that are part of the Zemo modular set, and those have guard as well. So I had quite a few minions that came out that had to be dealt with before I could do anything else because they had guard. But this is a very interesting campaign setting or scenario pack. It definitely has a lot of replayability because I only use the modular sets that were in here, but you can use modular sets from like any of the other campaigns or the extra modular sets that come with the base game, and just have a lot of replayability with this. I think some of the ones in this one are going to make more sense to the theme of the story, which is basically he's just trying to take over the city. But you could, to make it crazy, you could throw in stuff from Galaxy's Most Wanted or Rise of Red Skull as well. So the Hood's a really cool scenario pack expansion. It's let's see, like there's just a bunch of new cards. It makes it more challenging if you want to use those new standard and expert sets. But thoughts on the Hood? Pretty cool set. Again, I'm not really familiar with the character from like what he's been in, but this is like I guess like a very street level like character where you're not saving the galaxy or anything like that. The city is getting attacked and you're basically just doing stuff basically in the kind of like the real world, if you will. Not like you're not saving planets and stuff like that, but pretty fun pack. I think that's going to do it for now. I don't know when the next set comes out. I think we either have Valkyrie or Vision coming up next. I think one of those is in January, I think. Or I don't know when Valkyrie comes out. I think it was maybe Valkyrie was supposed to be December. So maybe next month we'll get Valkyrie. Month after that we'll then get Vision. Because I think this was supposed to come out a while ago. So this was delayed along with the other, with War Machine and Mad Titan Shadow. So I think next month we might have Valkyrie. And then maybe Vision in January. Maybe those are flipped. I'm not really sure. And then I'm not sure what's coming out after that. But just remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Whenever new Marvel Champions news is announced or new cards are announced, I'll reveal them here. Whenever a new product comes out, I'll like open it, let you know what I think of it. I'll kind of show it off and play test it and all that. But that's going to do for now. Again, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Have a good one.